Well, I just thought, you know, I think there's help a little bit with that. Oh, nobody puts baby in corner. Oh, he found the desk, see? What's that?
Yeah, that's how.
That's time out, Randy.
Oh, you perfect.
I think we got Kathleen and Chris on timeouts too, don't we? Yep. I had a COVID test and irritated my sinus for 2 days. I had to hopefully.
Playing around the thing about your brain.
Yeah. Yikes.
It's negative. For brain.
When it came out of the test, they knew they were in trouble. When it came out of the year, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You trying to keep them out of that. You're outside. Okay, 7 o'clock. Call to order. Verification of meeting notice.
It was from the item, or the notice was placed in the paper. I saw it in the paper. It was posted on the web and on the front door kiosk area.
It was emailed out to the community list and staff list.
Okay,
And 3, election of chairperson.
I will take over. I would look for nominations to elect chairperson.
I will nominate Steve Lewis. I'll second.
Steve has been nominated and seconded. Is there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations?
I would move that nominations be closed.
Nominations have been moved to be closed. Is there a second? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I would move that we cast a unanimous ballot for Steve to be the chairperson. Second. Thank you. Any other, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Steve, you are the chairperson.
Okay. Then just moving forward, just with mask and everything, if you make a motion, please state your name. That way it'll be easier for anybody to.
If there's anyone on virtual that is a resident and wants to vote,
Correct.
we need to know.
Okay.
If they're not a resident, they cannot vote.
Yes, they need to be a resident of the school district, not just have students in the district. They need to be a resident of the district. Yep. Just make that clear. Just because you have students going to school here doesn't make you a resident.
So Julie, can you note who's on?
Yes, I can do that. I'm just worried because some people join the board meeting Zoom, and this is the annual meeting. So he had them emailed me, and I want to go to the board meeting agenda and say, you're in the wrong meeting. So,
Do you want a minute for that?
Yes, let's do it.
yeah, I would rather us
Great.
pause for a minute. Thank you. So let me get this board agenda meeting ordered agenda up.
It's okay.
Type it really big on the meeting.
Okay, so here. And they're probably.
Yeah.
Bright red. Thank everybody. I appreciate that. All right, I got her changed around.
Yep.
Thank you.
We're good? Okay, then, item 4 then, treasurer's report.
Okay, so I'm just gonna make a note, for those that are on virtual, if you have the agenda, at the very top of that agenda, there's a link to the annual meeting booklet that has all the information in it. So we're gonna go to, and the actual table of contents, if you want to go to any of those items, if there's a link there that'll switch you right over to that page. So we're gonna look at page 14 to begin with. And we're gonna look at the unaudited 2019-20. We started out with the fund balance of $1,975,000, a Fund 10 fund balance of $1,975,000. Let me say that again, $1,975,820.68. We had revenues of $5,577,207.68. Expenditures of $5,603,010.21, leaving us with a fund balance of $1,950,018.15, which is a decrease in our fund balance by $25,802. And if you will remember, last year we actually added to fund balance by $458,185. So we didn't do too bad. We purchased 2 brand new buses this year in the amount of $177,929. We were able to get them at a reduced price because the school district before COVID hit had ordered 24 buses and then they backed out of the deal. So we were able to purchase 2 buses at a reduced price of what they would have normally done. Didn't have a lot of big expenditures. Technology, we spent probably $15,000 to $20,000 just in getting one-to-one devices for our students for when COVID hit. We had to purchase a new kiln because the old one was not firing on all sides. That was like $3,000. We did some parking lot work, but that was donated time and from Mr. Olson. And so, we had a pretty good year as far as finances went. We had added expenditures due to COVID, but we had diminished expenses in regards to heating and lighting because the building wasn't in use as much. So the special projects fund, this is Fund 21, which is where gifts go, and but the majority of it is Fund 27, which is special ed, because we have to book those money separate than Fund 10. So we had a beginning fund balance of $4,190.52. We had revenues of $650,470.54, and we had expenditures of $652,300.54, leaving us with an ending fund balance of $2,360.52. And that remainder for Fund 27, we have to clear out. So if there's a balance in Fund 27, we have to transfer funds over from 10 to 27 to make it 0. So what's really left in this account is gifts that were given for gifted and talented. So that $2,360 is actually gifted and talented money to be used. Our debt service fund, we had a beginning fund balance of $61,288.77. We had revenues which were levied through taxes of $365,989.87. And we had debt service payments and interest payments of $360,344.26. leaving our ending fund balance of $66,934.38. Our capital projects fund, this is the monies that were left over when we did the Upper 90 project, because we hadn't spent all of the technology money that was in that borrowing. And so the beginning fund balance was $387,524.44. And we had revenues of $7,406.08, which was all interest revenue from having those funds sitting in investments. And we had expenditures of $350,600.86, which was paying off the remainder of the windows and the envelope and the lighting retrofits. So leaving a fund balance of $44,329.66, which we'll be finishing spending this current fiscal year. Food service fund, beginning fund balance was $12,345.96. We had revenues of $220,129.02 and expenditures of $207,044.21, leaving us an ending fund balance of $25,430.77. So when we total all of those expenditures together in all of the funds for 2019-20, we had $7,173,300.08. Which was an increase from the year before, but that's because the Upper 90 project was in there. So you'll see that it's going down for this next year. And then if you will turn to page 13, which is just behind 4, sorry. This is the audited Fund 10 balance sheet. So this is where our general operations take place. This is paying salaries, bennies, building and grounds, transportation, all of that. So we ended the year with assets of $2,366,454.89. And we had outstanding liabilities as of June 30th of $416,436.74, leaving us with that fund balance that I talked about earlier of $1,950,018.15. Any questions? That's a lot of numbers.
Questions, comments? Nothing shows any action we need to take on that. All right, then, we move on to agenda item 5. Approval of the annual meeting minutes of October 28, 2019.
I'd move to waive the public reading of the minutes and accept the minutes as presented.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to waive the public reading of the minutes and approve them as presented. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? On to 6, presentation of the budget and proposed tax levy.
Anybody talking?
Oh, I thought I had everybody, but maybe somebody got on. Anyways, now muted.
So we're gonna look at page 14 and 15 again. We're gonna look at the far right corner column. So the projected expenditures for revenues for this year, let me see. And right now it's a balanced budget, but things come up and you don't spend, or you do spend and you get more revenue, or you don't get more, you get less revenue. So these figures are always changing. But the total revenues and expenditures for Fund 10, we're estimating to be at $5,564,160.01. Special project funds. So we'll be spending out the rest of that gifted and talented funds, and then this is Fund 27. So we have revenues. So this isn't balanced because we're going to spend out that Fund 21, the rest of that gifted and talented this year. Revenues of $656,522 with expenditures of $658,882.52, which will bring that to a zero balance at the end of this year. Debt service fund beginning balance was $66,934.38. The revenues are going to be, this is tax for interest and principal payments on debt, $453,407.75. And our expenditures are going to be $386,500.02, which will leave the ending fund balance at $133,842.11. You want me to explain the tax levy or no? Right there. Okay, so you might wonder why there's more revenues, we're levying more revenues. When we did our revenue limit calculation, and that's on page, it's pretty hard to see, it's tiny, on page 21, our actual debt service payment and interest and principal payments is actually going to be $275,002 this year. But because our mill rate was going to go down almost $2, we talked with a couple of board members that it would be best if we kind of tried to keep it stable, so that if next year in the biennial budget, we don't know what's going to happen with the governor's budget, whether we're going to get money, whether we're not going to get money, whether they're going to hold us harmless, because school districts right now are experiencing loss of pupil count because people are pulling their kids out, put them in private school, homeschooling, that sort of thing. So we decided that it would be best to try and keep that mill rate level instead of doing this up and down, which is what would happen. We go down 2 and then we could go back up 2 next year. So we're levying an extra $100,000 for that debt service. And what happens is it stays in investments. And if we get enough saved in there, we can prepay one of the bonds, which then is going to save the district and the taxpayers an extra year on that bond issuance on the other end. So that's the reasoning behind that extra money that we're levying. The capital service, capital projects fund then was next, and there's $44,329.66. And it's all been spoken for in technology, which was the rest of what that bond issuance was. And the main reason is we're waiting for PCs and stuff to come in because they're all back ordered. But that'll finish up that amount of money that we had borrowed. Food service, revenues and expenditures estimated at $228,200. And then if you look, total expenditures will be going back down from that 7.1 million down to 6.882, which is a decrease of 4.06%. And then the proposed property tax levy, we will be levying $1,491,613, of which $1,038,206 is for general operating. $375,002 is for the referendum debt service, which was when we added on to the elementary out back. And then the non-referendum debt service, which was the upper 90, where we retrofitted the lights and the building envelope. That payment is $78,405. Any questions on that?
Questions, comments? We don't need to take any action in there.
No, it's down in the next.
So then, if no other comments, questions, we can move on to agenda item 7, approval of resolutions. 7.1 then, adoption of tax levy for 2020-2021. Need a motion.
I move to approve as presented.
A motion was made by Mr. Brisbois and seconded by Mrs. Rowe to accept the proposed budget for 2021 in the amount of $6,882,072.21 in revenues and expenditures and tax levy of $1,491,613, of which $1,038,206 will be for general operation and $453,407 is for debt service. That's right. Okay. So then all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, motion carried. Okay, then 7.2, sale of surplus property.
Just, we need a motion saying that we can sell any kind of surplus property such as like the bus, we still got one bus we gotta sell yet, or.
Yes. Things like that.
Yep.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Mrs. McGee. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Richards. So motion was made and seconded for the continuation of resolution concerning sale of surplus property. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 7.3 then. Providing of textbooks at no cost to students.
I'll make that motion.
Motion was made by Mrs. Peterson. Is there a second?
I'll second it. Yellen.
Okay, motion was made by Ms. Peterson, seconded by Mrs. Scowen, for the continuing resolution providing for textbooks at no cost to students. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, motion carries. 7.4 then, food service program. So just motion for the continuance of the food service program, right? That's as simple as what it needs to be.
Yeah, authorizes Board of Education to furnish school lunches to the pupils of the district and to appropriate funds for that purpose. And then it gives authority, section 120.10, section 16 of the Wisconsin statute.
I'll make that.
That's on page 6, if that helps.
I'll make that motion.
Motion was made by Mrs. Blazinski. Is there a second? Second by Mrs. Bryant. Motion for the continuance of the food service program. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, motion carries. 7.5 then, authorize the district to engage in short-term borrowing. What this is just so if we have a time where we need to borrow for a short term, like a couple years ago, some of the money coming from the state was delayed. And so we needed to, take for 30 days or 50 days, we needed to borrow some money. to cover expenses and salaries and things like that till the money from the state hit.
I'd so move to approve that. As presented.
Been moved by Mr. Brisbois. Is there a second? Second by Mrs. Rowe, to authorize the district to engage in short-term borrowing. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? 7.6, set school board members' salaries. So right now, it's pay the board members $40 per regular and special meetings. Board president, $40 per regular and special meeting with no compensation for committee meetings. That's the current rate.
Mileage is at the,
That's the next one.
that's the next one, okay. Thank you.
I move that we pay the board members $40 per regular and special meetings and the whole motion that you need. Whatever you need.
Been moved by Mrs. McGee. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Richards. To pay all board members $40 for regular and special meetings with no compensation for committee meetings. Is all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. 7.7 then, authorization and reimbursement of school board members' expenses. So it says authorization reimbursed for board members only of actual expenses incurred plus current IRS rate per mile while on board business.
About the only time we ever have this is when they go to school board convention, it's mileage in the vehicles and meals while they're down there.
Which we don't get to do this year.
Nope.
What more of us can go then?
Because we're virtual.
We can all go.
There you go.
Virtual, yep.
Do you have a motion for that?
I would make the motion that Danny sort of.
Dan Clary.
Yeah, motion made by Mr. Dan Clary. Is there a second?
I'll second it, Kelly Scallon.
By Mrs. Scallon. All in favor of authorizing reimbursement for board members only of actual expenses incurred plus current IRS rate per mile while on board business, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 7.8, transportation of students, just for the continuation of transportation of students.
I'd make that motion.
By Mrs. Peterson, is there a second? By Mr. Manning. All in favor of the continuation of transportation of students, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 7.9, sale of or purchase of real property. So it's looking for a motion authorization, the sale of or purchase of real property. Want to explain?
So that's, would be if there was a need for land or whatever, it gives the board authorization to do that. But we normally go to, we haven't done this in between unless we do a referendum.
I'll make the motion to authorize the school board to sell or purchase any real property.
Okay, motion by Mrs. Scallon. Is there a second?
I'll second.
By Mr. Richards. All in favor of the authorization of sale or purchase of real property, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 7.10 then, retention of legal counsel. So this just authorizes the board for the retention of legal counsel.
Make that motion, so we continue to do so.
Motion by Mrs. Rowe. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Who seconded?
Experience.
Mrs. Variance. Okay, all in favor of the motion for the retention of legal counsel, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 8 then, other business that may properly be conducted at the annual meeting. Any other business?
Can I just ask for a clarification on 7.6. So we are saying that school board members will be paid for special meetings, correct?
No,
With no compensation.
well, with special
Oh, for
meetings, yes,
special
but
meetings.
not committee meetings.
So
So
not-
like if we have a regular board meeting, then we have another meeting in between,
Gotcha.
yeah, then that would be considered a special meeting, not a regular monthly meeting, but not committee meetings.
Gotcha. Okay.
Anything else? Any other business that may properly be conducted at the annual meeting? Anything on the internet? Nobody's typing up?
No, but I bet you got record attendance. There's over 30 people on this baby.
I'm assuming they're waiting for the
We have
next
to
meeting.
keep track of that.
I know, everybody.
That one, so they were here for the start of the next
34,
meeting.
34 people, and these people, that's almost 40.
That is almost 35 more than normal. Okay, nothing else then? 8-1 set annual meeting for October 25th, 2021,
7 o'clock,
7 o'clock.
so moved.
Been moved by Mr. Brisbois to set the next annual meeting of October 25th, 2021 at 7 PM. Is there a second? Second by Mrs. Rowe. All in favor of setting the next board meeting October 25th, 2021 at 7 PM, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, my motion carries. Any other business? Nothing? Okay, motion to adjourn by, a motion to adjourn by Mrs. Mosinski. Is there a second?
I'll second.
By Mrs. Springs. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you very much for your attendance.
Everybody on Zoom, that was the annual meeting. Now we're gonna close this Zoom and start the board meeting. So you all have to, I'm gonna kick you all off of this and you'll click on to the next meeting.